Well, there's a first time for everything, and this is my first time ever purchasing one of these bottles. We're going to review Booker's Bourbon 2025-03 Jerry's Batch 124.7 proof. So I have had Booker's Bourbon before. I've had samples and handshakes of it. I've just never purchased a bottle of it. And why, you ask? Because of the price tag generally by me in New Jersey of $100 and higher, Jim Beam in general as a taste profile has not been one of my top favorites. While I do like the Knob Creeks, I like some of the lower Jim Beams, I like a whole bunch of this stuff. For me, when I get to a price tag like over $100, it's got to be a taste profile that I really, really love. And in general, since I kind of see it at $100, $110, $120, I basically avoided it. The lowest I've ever really seen it, mostly by me, below $100, would pretty much be like $99. Today, in Bottle King in North Jersey, I saw this for $89. And $89 for a bottle of Booker's is a price I know I'm not going to see lower than anywhere by me. So it was one bottle sitting on the shelf for $89. And knowing that, I said, you know what? If I was ever going to buy a bottle of Booker's, this is the time to do it. And luckily enough, it is what I believe is the current latest batch of Booker's Bourbon. The 2025-03, which I believe means the third release of this year. It is called Jerry's Batch, and it is 124.7 proof. So it was released, I believe, in September of this year. And again, the third Booker's release of 2025. And the name Jerry's Batch comes from the fact that it's named in honor of Jerry Dalton, who was the former master distiller from, I believe, 1998 to 2007. And I think he was the only master distiller at Jim Beam that was not part of the No family. So the details and the age is stated right on here is very specific. It is aged 7 years, 4 months, and 21 days. It's got the typical Jim Beam mash bill, 77 corn, 13 rye, 10 malted barley. And from what I understand, it consists of barrels that were filled on 7 different production dates and aged in 9 different warehouses. And each of these portions counts for 11.1% of the blend. So it's I know that, it's a very specific blend. They do different types of blends, but in general, each batch does have a general range. I understand that the proof generally ranges from 120 to 130, so this is just about in the middle of that, midpoint. And it's also in the midpoint of around age, because I think these Booker's Bourbons age from 6 to 8 years, so this is 7 years, 4 months, 21 days. So without further ado, I'm very excited to get into this bottle. My first Booker's bottle on this bar. Here we go. An easier to open tab than its sibling, Knob Creek. And I would expect a very good cork pop here. Let's go. Not bad. Okay, so we got this poured up. It was an okay cork pop. The cork itself feels a little like the Knob Creek. And it's got the nice wax. It was an easy to open tab. Then Knob Creek's the worst as far as the tab. Let's take a look at the color. We got some, it's on the darker side. Not the darkest, but definitely on the darker side. I felt pouring it that the liquid, just by appearance, looked viscous. Looked like it should have a nice mouthfeel, but we'll know in a minute. Thought it's nice color on that one. Let's give this a nose. And by the way, excuse the voice. There's my little hoarseness here and, maybe a borderline cold. I don't know what's going on, but we're trying to work with it. It's not going to affect the taste. I think I should be working on that. I think that should work out well. Getting a little bit of a, Jim Beam has that peanutty profile that, it's known for. Well, the nose isn't working out too well right. Let's go right to the taste. Cheers. Well, first of all, peanut right away. A nice dose of that. And just skipping right to the finish. Wow, that is a good finish. That is a powerful finish. 124.7 proof. I will tell you right now, this has a nice oily, viscous mouthfeel, as I suspected it would when I looked at the way it was pouring. Definitely is. It's a thicker version almost of the, some of the Knob Creeks. A little bit thicker mouthfeel, I think, than that. What am I getting on the mouth? Certainly vanilla caramel, peanut, oak. I dare say a little cinnamon. There's a certain Jim Beam profile. Again, I said this at the beginning of it. This isn't a bad thing. It's just in terms of profiles and overall, every brand distillery has this, the specific taste profiles for each bottle, and they have an overall kind of like a taste profile that kind of hits for the whole brand. And there's a certain one here, and it's that peanut taste, and there's a certain mouthfeel with that and a certain taste. And I like it. I'm not saying it, there's certain brands and distilleries where there's a certain profile I like better and I like worse. And this is, I would say this is certainly on the higher side, but there is a certain profile that carries through their line, and I'm detecting it here. But this is very, very good. And when I had samples in the past, I always thought very good. For me, it's a question of, I got this, we'll call this at a discount price, $89 discount, but, is this something that I generally would spend $100? For me, I haven't. I'm really happy I got it at this price. But this is very, very good. There is some similarity I'm detecting with, across when I think of some of the Knob Creeks. Now, again, it's interesting because, this is 89, it's a higher price than this usually. And these are generally aged 6 to 8 years. While as, you can get a Knob Creek single barrel, a close proof to this, that's aged close to 10 years, between 9 and 10 years, close to 10 years, call it 9.5 or whatever it might be. And the price, would be around $60. So everything's kind of relative. But this is made differently. It may not be aged as old as some of the Knob Creeks, but it's also a batch of different, different dates, different warehouses, a lot more care in it. So a lot's done to this. So let me get to the point here. I really like this bottle. I really like this mouthfeel. I like this taste. And I like this proof. Do I feel bad I didn't spend $110, $120 on bottles before? No. I'm very happy I got it at this price. I do feel that some of the Knob Creeks at 120 proof. I like the single barrel select of the Knob Creeks, which is their, these are all part of the small batch collection. The Knob Creeks, the Bakers, the Bookers, but some of the Knob Creeks you can get for maybe a better price point overall. But this is a very good bottle. I don't know what to compare it to. I've had a couple of samples, they were good too. But, I know that each one of these batches could be subtly different, but I do believe there's some consistency. So, analysis. It's a really good bottle. It's even a lot better at the 89 versus spending 110. I'm really happy I got this, and really, this is a bottle I've wanted to have on my shelf, and I got it at the right price. Very happy with that. And it's solid. The taste on this thing is solid. The mouthfeel, everything about this, no complaints. My only point is that there are some similarities for me to the Knob Creek line at maybe 120 proof, and the 100 proof is good too. But I'm kind of thinking about, some similarities in taste I get across that line at a similar proof. And this, some of it's a Jim Beam profile, but this is a good bottle. This is a good bottle, and if you like Booker's, then it's not a problem as far as paying that price. But $89, that's a definite buy. And I can see paying, even if you go in the 90s for this. But I'm happy I found this. I'm definitely happy I found it at this price. This is solid. We'll see how it opens up, but from the mouthfeel to the nose, palate, finish, this is a winner. Cheers.